Woo! Good afternoon, my friends. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's doing well. This isn't going to be a very long stream, I don't think. I want to wrap this up by 6 if I can, because I think LTL's having a fundraiser for Aiden tonight. I think that's tonight. So I don't want to impede on that in any way, if I can help it. So, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. And then we'll get together probably tomorrow again. No Patreon stream this week, or at least today. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll get a wild hair up my ass and do something on the fly. I just hadn't thought of any movies to review this week. It's been a little crazy, but I will probably do a Patreon stream sometime this week to make it up to you guys. If not, the next Patreon stream, I'll make it up to you. I'll try to find like a really special guest to join me or something like that. I'll make it up to you guys. But yeah, so apparently Fox News wrote an article, and I keep seeing little bits and pieces. I'm like, God, I want to read it, but I want to wait till I'm live to read it. So, So I'm going to go ahead and read this Fox News article. Now, I don't know if it's clickbait or what, but the headline and the headline and the thumbnail alone of the article tell me everything. Like, look, here, let's... This is fun to me. Okay. Where's this? Here, I'll just search because I know. I mean, so like, look at this. Look at this thumbnail. Oh, wrong one. Hold on. Dude, I hate the new StreamYard setup. It's so annoying. So yeah, look at this. So you got Karen wheeling garbage. You got AJ looking like he just woke up, but then you got Jen McCabe looking like she's going to the Oscars. And I guess that's supposed to be Brian fucking Albert right there. Looking like he's going to a fucking funeral. Like he gives a shit about somebody. It's just very funny to me. Oh, thank you for that, Britt. Let me pin that. So yeah, that's really fun. So it's so weird. And the title is Karen Reed lands lucrative book deal while witnesses face continued harassment after acquittal. Ridiculous. So let me go ahead and read this because this is fucking dumb. Oh, we can listen to the article. Want to do that? Let's do that. Yeah, let's just listen to it. I don't want to read it. Stupid. What's up, MLS? Yeah,
book deal while witnesses face continued harassment after acquittal. Exclusive images. Life is moving on for all the key players except John O'Keefe's family after a Massachusetts jury found his former girlfriend Karen Reed not guilty of all homicide-related charges in his death outside a midnight house party during a blizzard on January 29, 2022. O'Keefe's niece and nephew, who he took in after their parents died, are orphaned for a second time. Reed has a book deal and a TV series about her saga in the works, but she's also facing a wrongful death lawsuit, which requires a lesser standard of guilt to hold her liable. Her civil team filed a motion to dismiss earlier this week. An outside investigation by the FBI found no alternate suspects and dispelled allegations of corruption leveled at local and state police.
Wait,
But
what?
prosecutors and investigators FBI found no alternate suspects and dispelled allegations of corruption by the FBI found no alternate suspects and dispelled allegations of corruption leveled at local and state police.
Okay. That's not true. I don't know where they're getting that information from, because there's literally nothing that says that the FBI didn't find any alternative suspects. There's nothing. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely fake news. Do better, Fox.
But prosecutors and investigators who led the case are facing a reckoning. The Albert family, former owners of the property where Reed and two other women found O'Keefe dead under a sheet of snow, just celebrated a wedding. Jennifer McCabe, a key witness in both of Reed's trials and one of the women with Red that morning, is the new bride's aunt. At the wedding, attendees pitched in to hire private security after Reed supporters allegedly circulated the venue online. Local police made their presence known, too. A marked SUV was parked at the foot of the church steps. Carrie Roberts, a friend of O'Keefe's who was also present with McCabe and Reed when they found his body, told Fox News Digital she is among the witnesses facing an ongoing harassment campaign, along with the Alberts, the McCabes, and O'Keefe's immediate family.
Well, I don't know. I wonder why people don't like Carrie Roberts. Maybe it's because she fucking lied. Maybe because she fucking got her story straight with Jen McCabe, who Googled fucking how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m. before she acted like she was so surprised to see John's body there, even though she didn't even act like she was that surprised at the time. That's interesting to me.
Family. I don't know why they're making Jen McCabe.
And nobody's harassing anybody. First of all. These people, they make sock accounts on a constant basis on Twitter. And here's the thing. I agree with Aiden and Turtle Boy. These people got away with fucking murder, at least so far. Like, these people should never, ever, ever be out in public and have peace. Ever. That's absolutely my opinion. I love when people take pictures of them out in public. I fucking love it. These people covered up the murder of a cop and then tried to pin it on his girlfriend. The only person who, in fact, has done anything besides Turtle Boy to get justice for John O'Keefe. I mean, that's just the truth.
McCabe a villain, she said in a phone interview. All she did was answer the same phone call I did. Karen called her. She didn't call Karen. It's so stupid and bizarre. The victim's mother, Peggy O'Keefe, is dealing with harassment of her own, including a woman seen dancing on video at the foot of her driveway after Reed's acquittal.
That's not even a free Karen Reed person. If I'm not sure, I didn't really follow up on that, but if I'm not mistaken, that was just some crazy person. She wasn't even free Karen Reed or anti Karen Reed. She was just some crazy fucking person, if I remember correctly. If this is unbelievable.
Roberts said the Norfolk District Attorney's Office told her to stop contacting their witness advocate after the trial, even as strangers continue to throw things at her house, call her family murderers in the supermarket, and mock her children. We put our ES on the...
All right. Thank you, Britt Happens. She turned out to be a neighbor of the O'Keefes who had significant mental health issues. Right. She was just a fucking loon. I know people are like, oh, don't say that about mentally ill. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up. I don't care. She's a fucking loon. Like, that's how much she means to me. Some fucking loon dancing in like an idiot in front of fucking Peggy O'Keefe's house. Nobody condoned that shit. Nobody who believed in Karen Reed's innocence condoned that shit.
On the line for 3.5 years, 2 trials to help the state of Massachusetts, and you're not going to help us when we're being harassed, she said. It's not worth it to put my family through ever again and not be protected at all. It's sick. It's absolutely sick. There's an ongoing witness intimidation case against Aiden.
It's sick. What do you mean, dude? Like, they're about to get into this. Here she is. Like, at least Fox News is doing that. They follow up that bullshit sentence coming from Carrie Roberts. And then then they're going to follow up and say, well, Aiden Carney is chasing or facing multiple charges. Yeah. She's sitting there whining. There's no protection for us. It's sick. What do you mean, dude? This guy, all he did was hold you accountable verbally. And he's facing more jail time than Karen Reed was facing, possibly. Make that make sense. That this guy right now is facing more jail time than a murder suspect, than the average murder suspect, because he asked questions. This is a news conglomerate right here. This is a news conglomerate telling lies who relies on their freedom of speech. Let's see what they say about Aiden. I'm curious. Before I start tearing them down on that, let's see what they say about Aiden.
Aiden Kearney, a Canon blogger who goes by the name Turtle Boy, but while Roberts is not one of his alleged victims, she says she faces rude comments and other harassment from random members of the community. After baseball games, kids on the team opposing her son might tell him, "Free Karen Red," while lining up to shake hands, she said. She filed a complaint against her mailman, who allegedly muttered a vulgarity into her doorbell camera when he saw a Justice for John O'Keefe sign at her house. Now someone else delivers her letters. My message to people is don't ever be a witness.
I fucking love that shit, dude. The fucking mailman. The mailman saw John O'Keefe Justice for some blue bullshit while he was fucking putting the mail in the mailbox. It was like, fucking morons. Whatever he said, who knows what he said, and then they complained. They went, ow, the mailman said something in my Ring camera. So the mailman now has a different route because of that. The fucking mailman. The fucking mailman did the same thing me and Aiden did to D&E Pizza Shop. Less, really, because we know Ring cameras have audio. So, like, we didn't know that the security camera outside D&E or at D&E right there in the window had mics. It was on the inside of the window. We had no knowledge that there was sound. No reason to even think there was sound. And yet Aiden got indicted for that. He got fucking indicted for that. And we're gonna yeah. I'm already seeing the motive behind this. This is
She
funny.
said,
hold on.
If this Justice for John O'Keefe, she said. She filed a complaint against her mailman, who allegedly muttered a vulgarity into her doorbell camera when he saw a Justice for John O'Keefe sign at her house. Now someone else delivers her letters. My message to people is don't ever be a witness, she said. If this happens to you, you're not going to be protected at all.
Okay. There's that again. I'm hearing that again. My advice, don't ever be a witness. Because that's what Nicole Albert said. And according to Plevin, poor Irish face. That's what Nicole Albert said when she was being interviewed. and said, my advice, don't ever be a witness. I love that shit because it implies like they had a choice. And that's very telling in and of itself. Very telling. It sure as shit sounds a lot like they weren't subpoenaed. It sure as shit sounds a lot like the Norfolk County DA approached each one of these McAlberts for witnesses and were like, we'd really appreciate it if you'd testify. Because these people were there the night they were some of the last people to see John alive. Wouldn't they automatically get subpoenaed? Wouldn't they automatically? I mean, they say that like they have a choice in the matter, and they probably did, is what my point is. They probably did. That's what's disturbing. Is the Norfolk County DA probably gave them a choice. Lauren says, it's the opposite. Carrie yells things to people. She's done it to a few people. Yeah, I mean, these people are sitting here acting like they're fucking angels, dude. They're pieces of shit. Okay? Carrie Roberts is a piece of shit. Jen McCabe is a piece of shit. Every single person with the last name Albert or last name McCabe that has been involved and testified in this case is a piece of shit. Except for maybe Brian's oldest. I didn't really take any issue with him. He was just having a birthday. And yeah, thank you for reminding me of that. And Jen threatened to not testify unless Aiden was in jail. Another indication that they were given a choice. Why would you not just simply subpoena people if you're trying to get justice for a police officer? Why wouldn't you simply subpoena these people? Why would you make them feel like they have a choice?
Reed's lead defense lawyer Alan Jackson returned to Los Angeles in time for the 4th of July holiday, where he was seen cruising in a Shelby Cobra replica, powered by a 351-stroker he described as a fire-breathing dragon. It's taking a while to come down, he told.
Bro, AJ is the dopest motherfucker ever, bro, besides Alessi. Okay? Bob Alessi still holds the crown as the dopest human being alive. Okay?
He told Fox News Digital, but I'm slowly getting back into my rhythm. He already has another deadly crash case lined up, the defense of Fraser Bohm, a 22-year-old from Malibu facing 4 counts of murder in a high-speed wreck that killed 4 sorority girls from Pepperdine University in October 2023. Sign up to get. Bohm is due back in court next month after Jackson asked for more time to prep a defense for his new client. Michael Proctor, a former homicide detective with the Massachusetts State Police, lost his job but may still resurface in the upcoming murder trial of Brian Walsh, who is accused of killing his wife Anna outside Boston. Her remains have not been found.
Let's see if Fox News covers that. Because Brian Walsh might fucking walk. Why might Brian Walsh walk? Because these shitbags did not get a warrant to search this guy's fucking Google searches. So this is how weak the Massachusetts State Police has made the case against Brian Walsh. Let's break this down. And let's only talk about the Google search. A, they didn't get a warrant for it in the first place. That's already a problem. B, these fuckers actually expected to convince a jury that Brian Walsh, that Celebrite, is reliable after they just spent an entire trial wasting millions of taxpayer dollars on trying to prove to a jury that Celebrite was not credible. Brian Walsh might walk. And we know he did that shit. We know he did.
Proctor worked that case too, and Walsh's lawyers have argued his presence tainted the investigation. That trial is scheduled to kick off in October. State police fired Proctor after he sent lewd texts about Red to his friends, officially faulting him for sharing law enforcement sensitive information with civilians and for drinking on the job. His former supervisor, Yuri Buchanek, was also reassigned in the wake of Reed's second trial out of the homicide unit in Norfolk County and to an administrative post in Boston, according to Boston 25. Reed's defense alleged a cover-up by state and local police, alternately insinuating they got lazy in the investigation and failed to do a thorough job or outright framed her. Hank Brennan, the high-powered defense attorney...
It's the latter. They just did a fucking lazy job of framing her. That's what they did. They did a lazy-ass job of framing her because they thought that she would plead out. They thought she would cower to them, and she did not. And that's why they were lazy. They were lazy because they were arrogant. They framed her, and they did a lazy job doing it because they were arrogant. Simple.
Attorney hired as a special prosecutor to lead Reed's second trial, reportedly raked in more than $550,000 for his work, according to the Boston Herald. That's a reasonable sum for a private lawyer, said retired Massachusetts judge and Boston College law professor Jack Lew, but also much more than a deputy district attorney on the state payroll would have made.
I mean, think about that shit. Hank Brennan got a small fortune for prosecuting an unwinnable case. All that says is how desperate Michael Morrissey was to get this conviction on Karen Reed that he didn't get. I mean, Hank Brennan got paid a small fortune more than any ADA would ever get paid, and he still did a worse job than ADA Adam Lally. Adam Lally managed to convince 9 people. Adam Lally managed to convince 9 people. Now, Fanning was in charge of that jury, so I take that very, 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 very lightly. But, I mean, Hank Brennan did a terrible fucking job. Let's just be honest. And he did, this guy took every shortcut he could. He did everything he could to sabotage the defense. Everything he possibly could. And still came up short. And the reason for that is Karen Reed was innocent. That's it. That's the reason. There's no other reason. You can't prove something that didn't happen. Brennan's job was to prove something that didn't happen, and he couldn't do it. His job was to prove that something happened that didn't happen. Can't be done. Science.
Made probably $130,000 annually. Brennan put in long days and likely worked through weekends while keeping his private practice open at the same time, he added. And while in a rare public statement, he slammed the prevalence of witness intimidation and apologized for not securing a conviction, O'Keefe's supporters indicated they appreciate his work on the case.
Wow.
The jury pool was completely tainted is all I can say, Roberts told Fox News Digital. Hank did so much work. He was a genius. He really was. Nobody could have gotten it done, which is wicked sad.
Nobody could have gotten it done, which is wicked sad. Jesus, man. Make it make sense, Sean on the golf.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
Not that Dina. Thank you so much. So here's fucking Brian Albert at Caitlin's wedding. I just want to look at the pictures here. And there's Jen McCabe at Caitlin's wedding. And here's this stupid bitch. Like, and they're trying to pin this shit on Free Karen Reed. She's wearing blue, for fuck's sake. Like, I mean, this whole article is just a demonstration of how little Fox News knows.
Possibility means you have a chance.
Passion opens the door to all possibilities.
When
Shut
I
up.
feel
And there's Peggy O'Keefe, and there's this Carrie Roberts idiot. Like, nobody's buying those tears, bro. You're full of shit. You only feel sorry for yourself. And there's homeboy fucking winning right here. Still winning. Fucking love it. Somebody, yeah, if you notice my thumbnail, somebody stuck my face on this guy's. So I used it on the thumbnail. Somebody did that on X. Look at this. I mean, now here's the thing. Why would Fox News do this is the big question. Some of you are going to think I'm crazy. Some of you are going to think I'm wrong. Some of you are going to think, you're overthinking it. No. Why would Fox News go out of their way to spin this narrative? I'm telling you right now. I don't give a fuck what you think. I know it to be true because I keep seeing it and I've been watching it for the last year and a half. Turtle Boy is gaining traction. Every single time he goes live, every single time he shows up on another YouTube channel, he gets more attention. And this is smart of him. Smart of Aiden to go on every single fucking channel that invites him. Fucking great. Best thing to do. Because mainstream media, you can't count on them to give him the credit that he needs. Why? Because I've said it 100 times and I'm going to keep saying it. Mainstream media is afraid of Turtle Boy. Mainstream media is afraid of Turtle Boy and what he represents. If they perpetuate and the celebration of Turtle Boy and what he accomplished in this case, if they perpetuate that, it makes them look incompetent. It makes them look inadequate. Why? Because every single Turtle Boy article in regards to the Karen Reed case is vastly more thorough than any article that you'll read in mainstream media. Vastly. Fox News, this article is simply, the whole purpose behind it is simply to minimize independent media. Because if you make the Free Karen Reed supporters look bad and you call Aiden Carney just a blogger, I mean, what that does is that sends a message. Because again, they don't villainize Turtle Boy. If they villainize Turtle Boy, they bring attention onto him. They play little word games, like by calling him a blogger, right? Something on the computer, right? By calling him a blogger, they minimize him. If they villainize him, it makes him interesting. If they minimize him, he's not interesting. So, I mean, the fact is he is, besides Karen Reed's defense team and Karen Reed herself or members of Karen Reed's family, Turtle Boy is the best person to talk to. He is the most lucrative person to have as a guest or a panelist on any news station talking about this case. He is the best choice to have as a panelist. Like I said, besides Karen herself or someone in her camp. And there wasn't one mention of the Bettero letters in that article. They probably don't even know. James Hara, thank you so much. Tristan just tied himself in knots more than a marriage agreement under God. He completely got in bed with the mob. Karen Reed support would never be that disgraceful. No, I mean, yeah. It's kind of a reach, but yeah, I just don't. I refuse to look at the McAlberts like they're this fucking, organized crime syndicate that fucking, does Colombian neckties and shit like that for people who don't pay up. I call bullshit on all that. I just call bullshit on all that. I mean, real criminals to be fearful of are the ones who don't just leave a fucking body out in the lawn and act like it's not there. That's not what mobsters do. They're not the Irish Sopranos. They're not the Irish Sopranos, bro. They're the fucking they're the fucking Irish Three Stooges, except there's a lot more than three of them. I mean, it's so crazy to me that, right, exactly. Like the proof in that article that that the agenda here is to minimize any independent news and not touch any of it, because what they're using is the fact that they're Fox and Turtle Boy is Turtle Boy and I'm me and fucking Crawford is Crawford and LTL is LTL and Nurse Kim is Nurse Kim and Jimmy is Jimmy. Auntie Deb. That's what they're doing here. They're saying, well, we're Fox News. And if we're not talking about that stuff, it's not news. That's the attempt here. Because any actual journalist would be discussing the fact that Aidan Carney's attorney has written several letters to the DA claiming that he could prove collusion to frame him. Collusion between many of the same dirty cops the same dirty cops that Aidan called out during the Karen Reed sham. He could prove that they colluded with Kate Peter and what's her face, along with the Norfolk County DA, by the way, and what's her face, fake victim, to get him locked up, to get his bail revoked. Dude, they showed up to his house. Tully himself showed up to his house, dude, and took his tech, put him in handcuffs. Give me a fucking break. And this article is claiming that the McAlberts are the victims here. I mean, and I love it. That's just fine. That's all good and dandy. Because the more I grow, I can't speak for anyone else. The more I grow, the more I'm going to call out how mainstream media failed to cover certain things. I'm going to keep a microscope so far up mainstream media's ass and how they choose to talk about these things, because I'm out to prove this. I'm out to prove that mainstream media fears independent media. And I love this because by doing what they're doing, they are destroying their credibility on their own. I don't have to do anything. Nobody listens to me. I'm Mr. 46,000 subs here, dude. I'm not Fox News. But Fox News is sitting there and failing to give the entire story. Fox News would get an insane amount of viewership, an insane amount of viewership increase, an insane amount of ad revenue increase if they simply talked about all of the things that are involved in this case. Like, they don't make movies about guys like Turtle Boy unless there's a shit ton of things going on unless there's a shit ton of things that make up a fucking wild story. And it's still going on. This isn't even the thick of it yet. I mean, that's fair too. Because here's the thing. I don't consider myself a journalist, but I might have to start doing so. Because I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to dedicate every ounce of energy on YouTube to building the credibility of independent media versus the lack of credibility of mainstream media. I'm going to do everything I can to do that. I mean, I just feel like, yeah, it's really frustrating. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna focus all of my energy as a YouTube creator on building the credibility. And the way to do that is by telling the entire story, making sure you share all of the information, making sure that, because that's the thing is, you guys, you're not stupid people. You're intelligent people who understand that I have opinions. And I'm not going to shift the information simply to bend to my opinion. I'm not going to do that. I will give my opinions, but I'm going to give you all the facts. And I'm only going to form opinions on the facts. And that is how I plan on building the credibility of independent media. And a lot of people are doing the same thing. This is exactly Turtle Boy's method as well. Nobody could sit there and call Turtle Boy a liar and be credible and sound credible doing so. They can't do it. Because every single article that Turtle Boy puts out has receipts. Or the receipts are to come shortly. Yeah, I have I have pinned at the top of the chat. I have pinned to the top of the chat. I have the link to donate to Turtle Boy. And yes, I'm so grateful to you guys, because the only way that happens is through support, you know? That's the only way that happens, is through support. And I'm not saying like, you know, I'm saying like, you guys are the reason why. You guys are the reason why. Your desire for the truth is what fuels people like Aiden. Robin G gifted 5 membership. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, and that's something you can always count on me for. I'm never going to lie to you guys. Never going to do that. And if I do, because I might, it'll be to protect someone. If I ever lie, it is always to protect someone or to protect someone's privacy. If I ever lie. Yeah, and there are people who have been listening to me since the beginning, and I've always been this way. I've always been forthcoming, and I've always had a desire for the truth. And I've never speculated irresponsibly, covered a lot of cases, and I've always speculated based only on the facts made available to the public. That is it. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't find it coincidental that Fox News would put that out when Aiden is winning the way that he is. Right now, Aiden is the biggest threat to mainstream media that there is. When it comes to this case, anyway. Like, think about it, dude. Aiden gets more views than any of the local news stations there where he lives. I get more fucking views than any of the local news stations that are there. All of us do. Each of us do. All of us did better with the trial than, I mean, look at Melanie Little. Look at how well Melanie Little did covering the trial when you compare to Court TV, Law and Crime. Melanie Little destroyed those numbers. Destroyed them. So yes, if you think that, and when it comes to mainstream media, no matter who the source is, whoever, no matter what platform it is, somebody's job is to look at these numbers. It's someone's job to do that. Sarah B. Creative, thank you so much. Just here to politely interrupt. I appreciate that. It's always someone's job to keep tabs on what's hot, what's not, and how do they boost their ratings. And I guarantee you, they're watching us. And they see us as a threat. All of us, especially Aiden. I mean, this is why you never see, like, there's this whole, I forget the name of the venue, but I think Aiden is putting together something where it's going to be like a live show. And he was saying yesterday how the venue wants to do it like every couple of weeks, but the venue really wants Sue O'Connell to be the one, basically a one-on-one interview live in front of a crowd. Wilbur Theater, thank you so much. And And apparently Wilbur Theater wants it to be Sue O'Connell that does it. Now, I'm not against that at all. I saw a lot of people in his chat yesterday going, oh my God, no, not Sue O'Connell. And I'm like, that's fine. I'll explain. Because Sue O'Connell has avoided talking about Aiden because she works for Boston 10. And I don't think she wants to. I don't think she ever wanted to avoid having to talk about Aiden. I don't think that she ever wanted to really avoid talking about certain things, because I would call her out on this stuff all the time. We've since, made peace. But she works for Boston 10. But for somebody who works for Boston 10, she's very, very active on X. And she will speak her mind. It's not so much that truth is the threat. I mean, on another level, that is the threat. But when it comes to mainstream media, money's the threat. The lack of losing money, the fear of losing money is the threat. Or the possibility of losing money, the likelihood of losing money. So, me personally, my first choice to do this Wilbur Theater thing would be Howie Carr. That would be my first choice. I feel like that would sell more tickets. And we know that Aiden and Howie have a great dynamic, a fantastic dynamic. They feed off of each other extremely well. They have very similar senses of humor. But my first choice would be Howie Carr, because I think that would raise a lot more money. Now, and honestly, I just think it would be more like entertaining, but the thing is Sue O'Connell. I would like to see Sue O'Connell be more engaged with the whole. I mean, how more engaging could she get than having Turtle Boy right in front of her? Someone who seems to have actively avoided the issue as much as possible because of who she works for. So I would like to see her have a nice, honest conversation with Aiden. But the problem with that is when it comes to her, I don't trust it to be completely honest. Not saying that she's going to do something dishonest, just saying that we won't get everything out of it that we should hope to get. I don't think that she's going to ask the kind of questions or talk about the things that we can count on Howie Carr to do, for instance, or Jess Machado. So my first choice would be Howie Carr. My second choice would be Jess Machado. But I would like to see Sue O'Connell. The problem is for that reason, like I said, I just don't trust her to discuss the things that would be necessary to discuss. And that's nothing against her necessarily. I mean, it is what it is. If she would take it that way, then it's the reason why I feel that way simply is because she seems to have been avoiding the Turtle Boy issue just like everyone else this entire time. But I like the idea of two people who see things, and I feel like she's kind of come around, and I think that she's getting more and more comfortable. So that gives me hope that she would do that. And again, I think it would be interesting. I think it would be absolutely fascinating to see a one-on-one sit down between Sue O'Connell and Aiden Carney, because they are almost polar opposites politically. And Aiden, the way that he conducts himself on his show is exactly what would offend someone like Sue O'Connell. And I know this based on her own tweets. You know, I know this based on her own tweets. She's very candid and very open about the things that she finds offensive. So I would be really, really interested in seeing the two of them sit down, because the thing about the two of them is they do have a mutual professional respect for each other. That's why I think that would be an awesome thing to show everyone, is these two people who have very different fundamental opinions on things can sit down and respect each other and exchange a mutual respect, a professional mutual respect for each other. I think that would be a really cool thing to be very public. So I would like to see that. But again, Howie Carr's my first choice because I just think it's going to be more fun. But I have questions about the whole doing it like, because the whole point of this is that somebody interviews Aiden, right? Not the other way around. So I'm curious as how that's going to work if Wilbur Theater wants to do something every couple of weeks or every month. To me, I'm curious about that, because like what is, are you just going to have somebody different interview him every time? Because to me, that's weird. Like, you're just going to go over the same shit, you know? Like, I'd rather see Turtle Boy have this venue and he gets to interview different people. But who would he get? You know what I mean? Who would he get? Who would be willing to sit down with Aiden Carney live locally and be willing to be asked tough questions? Who would be willing to do that? Now, it'd be cool. Like, what I'd like to see, I mean, if he picks up enough local juice, maybe he could sit down with sports figures, local sports figures, Celtics players, fucking Sox players, Patriots players, coaches. That would be fucking dope. I'd love that for him. I mean, jurors, yeah, jurors would be good. But then again, like I said, I mean, and then what? You know what I mean? And then what? And yeah, Ted Daniel would be good. Ted Daniel would be good. You think Aiden's too controversial for sports figures to sit down and talk with him? I mean, that's possible, but yeah, Billy Bush was awesome. Hey, what's up, Andrew Myers? You guys subscribe to Law Offices of Andrew Myers. He's really cool. I gotta get you up here one of these days. Actually, I might be in touch because I am going to put together another 12-hour fundraiser, but this time it's going to be strictly for Aiden. See if we can, and we're going to set the goal at 20 grand for that live stream. I'm going to raise 20 grand for Aiden. And if we surpass it, even better. But yeah, we're going to do a 12-hour fundraiser, but we're going to do it for Aiden. But I got to put it together. I'm going to have to reach out to a lot of different YouTube creators and set it up. But I don't even have a date on this yet. But I'd love to have Andrew up here for at least a short period of time on that. Yeah, Howie's great. Howie's hilarious. And no, I'm definitely not taking my shirt off. That's not happening. Especially since, especially I've been laying around for over a month. I haven't been to the gym. Like, I'm getting pale, I'm getting fat, and I'm sick of this shit. But I don't want to complain. I prefer not to complain. Um, fucking better believe it. I am the fundraiser daddy. But speaking of fundraisers, in about 24 minutes, Brian LTL is going to be having a fundraiser for Aiden, which is awesome. And congrats to Brian LTL for hitting 50K subs. That's pretty dope. That's not tonight? Okay, that's not tonight. Let me double check. Oh, he's already live. Oh, my bad. Yeah, he's already live. Okay. That's on Wednesday. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. When I see these upcoming lives, sometimes I forget to look at the date and I just look at the time. So Wednesday at 6 p.m., LTL will be having a fundraiser for Aiden. Yeah, he's got this attorney Temper. He's been in my chat. I like that guy. He's been in my chat quite a bit. I really like that guy. Yeah, I'll be working on that. Me and Cherry are gonna really knuckle down starting now, actually. As we speak, Cherry is behind the scenes doing stuff that I feel will help boost my channel. Yeah, I'm starting to get worried, man. Because I feel like it's taken forever. I mean, I just can't stay off of it. Like I'm single and I live alone. So it's like you know, like I have to do everything. So which is fine. And I'm fine with taking care of myself, perfectly fine. But I can't stay off of it and leave it elevated as I'm supposed to, because it's just, so it's taking a lot longer to heal, and I'm worried about it. And I'm starting to think that I might have to knuckle down and go to the doctor. Because I fear that it may be healing wrong. And I'm really worried about that. So, because I don't want to be walking with a cane the rest of my fucking life because I fucking jumped a wooden fence like an idiot. It's just, I'm not going out like that, That's just not gonna happen. Yeah, the thing is, the way my house is set up, crutches, impossible. Pointless. The cane is way more practical. But y'all, man, y'all get like, dude, yesterday, I wasn't really feeling great, man, and I just wasn't feeling that great. And then I mentioned it, and then people started DMing me and leaving comments and going, "Oh my God, my husband's sister's brother had indigestion and it turned out to be a heart attack. If you start to feel your arm go numb and blah blah," these are fucking, I'm getting all these DMs. I'm like, dude, it's a tummy ache. Calm down, bro. Like, it's a tummy ache. I had a little tummy ache. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate that people are concerned. Don't get me wrong. I really appreciate that people are concerned. But I'm not one of those people. Okay. Most of the time, like I As soon as I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling too great. As soon as I said that, I was like, ah, fuck. You know? 'Cause I don't need the medical advice from the gallery, y'all. Okay? I appreciate people being concerned. But it was a fucking tummy ache, and I wanted to cuddle with my dog, and that's it. If you feel your left arm going numb and you start, Jesus, dude, why are you putting that evil on me, man, over a tummy ache? Are you kidding? Like, don't turn my tummy ache into a fucking heart attack. Are you kidding? Like, I did. Yeah, I did not really follow up on that though. But Nurse Kim did offer to help me with insurance. And I'm sure if I called her up, she would take the time. I know she would. I'm just not there yet. Not that, Dina. Thank you so much. If I want to laugh, watch DUI guy go over mean tweets. I know you like him. It was a few days ago. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll probably check that out. Clubber is upstairs. That's another thing. I like having Clubber here with me when I'm doing live streams. But the problem with that is, since I'm on a cane, like, if I don't put a leash on him, he could run off if he sees a squirrel and I can't go after him. And if he if I have him on a leash to bring him down here, he could yank me going after a squirrel, and then I could get hurt worse. So I have to leave him upstairs, and at least he keeps Drago company. But the two of them, man, they're just the best. They're just the best. I just love just hanging out with the two of them. Dude, I got like the simplest life in the world, bro. I love it. I got the simplest fucking life in the world. Yeah, like, and like, it's crazy. Like, Drago and Clubber, like, they go at it, dude. Like, they go at it. It's crazy. I mean, I always root for Drago because Drago is little, and it's just badass because he's a kitten. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking kitten. And so, like, out of nowhere, he'll just fucking, I mean, they both do this to each other, but out of nowhere, Drago will just jump on Clubber's fucking head. And then it's just like, yeah, come get me, you know? And then Clubber's 60 pounds, dude. You know what I mean? Clubber's not a small dog. He's 60 pounds, and he is half pit bull, half Shar Pei. You know, if he wanted to hurt Drago, like, he really could. He really could. So, but he'll get Drago like in his fucking jaws. Like, he'll practically put Drago in his mouth. And he doesn't really know how strong he is, but he does hold back, you know. And so Drago will, like, you know, he'll go, ah, you know, but he'll fucking, as soon as he lets go, Drago will start just start jabbing him in the face, and then like grab his face and then bite him. And then Clubber will be like, oh, and then run up to me and start kissing me. And I'm just like, dude, I keep telling you to quit fucking with that cat. That cat is going to fuck you up, dude. Because Clubber doesn't have a strand of DNA that wants to hurt anything. He is the sweetest, most loving dog ever. And he's so obedient. He listens so well. Like, dude, it took me no time. It took me like literally like 5 minutes to teach him how to sit. Like 5 minutes to teach him how to sit. He understands everything I tell him. He understands when I say, are you hungry? He understands when I say, do you want to go to the bathroom? He understands everything. Clubber is really, really smart. And he's great. You know, he's really like, but he's so sweet and loving. So he never, ever wants to hurt Drago. But Drago is a kitten and he doesn't give a fuck. And so he will fucking scratch the shit out of Clubber's face. And then Clubber will run up to me and be like, he'll go, arr! And then run up to me and I'll be like, dude, I fucking told you, bro. That's why I'm always like, get him, Drago. Get him. Get him. Don't take that shit. Because Clubber's fucking 60 pounds. Drago's this fucking big, dude. Drago's literally this big. Clubber's fucking 60 pounds, dude. It's so much fun. And I dude, like, I'll pause whatever movie I'm watching and just watch him fucking scrap. Because I know Clubber's never going to hurt Drago. I know he's not. He loves him too much. Drago loves Clubber. And they cuddle together at night and sleep. Like, I stopped taking pictures of it because, and every time I want to, I'm just like, dude, all right, I got to chill out with that because it's almost everything on my Instagram is the two of them cuddling and sleeping because it's just the sweetest thing I've ever seen in my life. And yes, new Glare merch store now open. Thank you, Cherry. Meredith saying, my smallest kitten, Blair, constantly goes after her two brothers who are way bigger and starts fights, then starts crying when they go after her. Right. Now, Drago, he never does that. Drago doesn't have a strand in his DNA to play victim either. Like, Drago just runs off. Like, he'll just find a cubby hole to, like, hide in, something to hide in. You know, if he's already like, all right, this fucker's too big, you know? But it's crazy. Clubber will just out of nowhere be sitting there. No, I'm not pinning that link. I've got Turtle Boy's thing pinned, Cherry. Clubber will out of nowhere, he'll just be chilling with me, and then he'll just pounce off the bed onto Drago. And then Drago will just like hide behind something, and then it'll be like, what? And he'll just catch Clubber in the face. Like, it's so funny. Oh yeah, they attack each other, dude. They attack each other, but it's always playful. You know what I mean? Like, it's always playful. They're just playing. Drago adores Clubber. He loves him. Like, it's such big brother, little brother vibes between the two of them. Like, all the time. Like, when I've told this, I've said this a couple times before. The first time when I first brought Drago home, and the first time I put water there for him, Clubber went to go. Well, Drago kept drinking out of it, and then Clubber felt like, what am I supposed to fucking do, man? This fucking cat is drinking the water. Okay. And then Drago got territorial with the water. And he got all confused when Clubber was going for the water. He was walking towards the water to go drink it. And then Drago was like, meow, meow, like getting all like, what the fuck are you doing? That's my water, you know, which is not true. So Clubber looked at him and then ended up getting behind Drago. I swear to God this happened. Got behind Drago and started nudging Drago's butt with his nose towards the water, like as if to tell him, dude, go ahead and drink some water, little dude. You're good. There's plenty. I'll get some later. That's totally what went down. And it's like Clubber earned Drago's love and respect. It's just that they have totally just very protective of each other vibes. More Clubber protective of him. But Clubber is also a little jealous too. So like if I pick up Drago and I start petting him, Clubber runs up and starts kissing my arm. Like, what about me? You know, that kind of shit. I can't believe 1.2 thousand of you are sitting here listening to me talk about my fucking pets. Amazing. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'll hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me see if there's anything to go over, which I don't think there is. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah.
His phone. It makes it look all nefarious. But and any actions such as involving memory, it's very likely to be.
All right. Because fuck it. Why not? We're just hanging out, right? I haven't done one of these in a while. I love to watch this shit. Like, we probably won't do this for long, but
My last show that deals with the subject matter of Karen Reed. Unless things develop where the witnesses want to join me in the fight. I don't want to mean that as a criticism because I don't have to walk in their shoes. None of us have had to walk in their shoes. And there's a lot of complicated things going on. Some of them have difficulty getting the right to speak because of the Netflix documentary. And there are other complications such as involving other legal issues, and including the turtle prosecution, things that I can't go into very deeply. But there are also some of them that have the idea, the hope that this whole thing will die down and their children and their families and they can live normal lives with the trial over. Now, I didn't believe that would happen, and I don't believe that will happen. But it's not for me to make the decision. It's for them.
I mean, there you are. There you are applying logic there, Plevin. Good for you, buddy. You're applying logic because the fact is no, they're never going to get to live peaceful lives. They shouldn't get to live peaceful lives. John O'Keefe is not resting in peace right now because he's not getting justice. And they're responsible for his death. They're responsible for him not getting justice. So therefore, they should not have peace. That is my opinion. They should always be looked at as the people who fucking killed John O'Keefe and cost him justice.
It's for them. I believed that they would continue to try to make all the people that have been making money and popularity on this. We're not going to stop. You're not going to see Turtle Boy or Melanie or Young Jerks, all these cowardly people that don't have any interest in the truth. You're not going to see them stop trying to get more out of this, right? Of course not. They're going to continue to grift on it. That's just what they do. Why would they stop if they're still getting stuff out of it? And then, but we're also seeing her lawyers too, because they have a lot to gain too. These guys, Alan Jackson wants to be this generation's Johnny Cochran.
I mean, I love these meltdowns, bro. And Alan Jackson is this generation's Johnny Cochran. Like, that's already happened. It's not that he wants to be, it's that he is. And I mean in the sense that he's as popular as Johnny Cochran. Like, if there's, as far as popularity goes, and there's a reason for that. He earned that popularity. Alan Jackson 100% earned that popularity because Alan Jackson beat an entire local government who was trying to frame an innocent woman. He is famous for all the right reasons. So, and yes, there's still a lot to talk about. There's still a lot to talk about. The fact is that the people who framed Karen Reed now have to deal with Turtle Boy. And that's why we're still talking about it. Because again, John O'Keefe has not gotten justice. This is about justice for John O'Keefe. Plevin, if you were worth a shit, you would be saying the same thing. You would revamp everything and you would say, you know what? This jury found her not guilty on these charges. We need to really explore why they did that. We need to really explore why they did that. Because John O'Keefe still hasn't gotten justice. But the problem is Plevin has already displayed for way too long his TDS. And there's just no getting around that.
Right. And so he wants to be known as that. He wants to be the Hollywood lawyer that miraculously gets guilty people off. That's what Johnny Cochran did with OJ, right? F. Lee Bailey.
Dude. Yeah. That's his job, is to defend both the innocent and the guilty. That's his job, to defend them as ethically and as thoroughly and at the best of his ability. That's what a defense attorney's job is. That's everybody. That's every defense attorney. And what you're saying here is you're just trying to twist this in, okay, his job is just to get guilty people off. That's very dangerous. Somebody like this talking like defense attorneys are bad is dangerous. Because defense attorneys provide defense attorneys provide the balance in our justice system, as a matter of fact. We need defense attorneys. Defense attorneys ensure that all of your rights are not being violated. And there's no miracle in how Alan Jackson and Karen Reed's defense team got her off. There's no miracle there. This guy's talking about miraculously gets guilty people off. There's no fucking like miracle there, dude. The miracle is that Hank Brennan thought that Welcher's blue paint bullshit would somehow resonate with this jury. The miracle is how much Hank Brennan underestimated a jury, knowing, having as much trial experience as he has. The fact that he underestimated that jury so grossly, that's the miracle.
Everybody's entitled to a fair trial, and the police have to run a fair investigation, and the prosecution has to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. Those are all things that...
And that didn't happen, Plevin. Law enforcement did not conduct a fair investigation. And that's partly what got Karen Reed off.
have to be overcome to get a guilty verdict. And sometimes really, really good lawyers can make a big difference in making that harder. And that's what Alan Jackson wants to be known for. And it looks like a good chance he will be.
Okay, so this asshole is sitting here saying that Alan Jackson made the police investigation look inadequate. No, he simply presented evidence that showed that it was inadequate. There's a big difference there. He didn't put on some magic show. He didn't put on some fucking misdirection. Brennan tried to do that.
So you're going to see them continue to make a lot of noise on social media. For instance, when the Netflix documentary comes out, which isn't going to be for 6 months, and it's not going to be pro-Karen, but they're going to be combating it. And then at some point, you'll see other documentaries. And
oh, absolutely. You better believe that I'm going to fucking stream that shit on Kick. You better fucking believe that shit.
A pro-Karen Reed movie come out a year from now, 2 years from now, I don't know. And there's other things in the works. I had somebody call me this week that's doing a dramatization series for it. So this is not going to die anytime soon.
No, it's not.
And so I don't, it's an understandable hope by the innocent witnesses, and they are innocent, to stop the madness, but it's not going to. So for me, I think that the only way to fight back is to fight back. and you have to fight back with the truth. I'm here to help with that. But if the decision is made collectively or individually that that's not what they want to do, then I will respect that decision. And I really have nothing more I can do on this case. I've done a lot on it, and I'm ready to move on. I don't want to just find myself doing shows.
Now look at the nature. This guy's too fucking stupid to even see that he is so transparent in what his motives here are and what he's bitter about. Because Karen Reed won. Court TV doesn't have him on anymore. They have no more use for him. His book isn't selling. It's being given away for free, as a matter of fact. And he's right back to simply being an apparition in an attic. That's it. That's all he is right here. This is an apparition in his mom's attic. That's what we're looking at. And so what he's doing right now is he's like, I'm here to fight back. Fight back against what? Well, what he was very clear about there was, well, Turtle Boy and Mike Crawford from Young Jerks and Melanie Little are all going to be making all this money because there's still money to be made talking about this, right? But I'm here to fight back. Will the witnesses, the innocent witnesses, will they still use me to be their mouthpiece and fight for them? Will they fight back? But I can only do so much. Right now, he's bitching about the fact that he hasn't shit. He's even less than shit he was before. This dude, this was streamed. This is an hour and a half long stream, people. An hour and a half long stream. And it's 22 hours old. And it doesn't even have 3,000 views. When I end this stream, I'll have more views than he has total now for this stream. Why is that? Because he was wrong. He was wrong. And yeah, no, listen, I get it. That's why I'm not taking like personal jabs at the guy, because I actually hope that I don't wish fucking death on people, dude. You know, I hope that he recovers. I always like to see people beat cancer. I think it's crazy to me that it's very crazy to me that this guy is still sitting up here doing this shit when he's fucking got 1 foot through the door to meeting his maker, and you know his maker is going to call him out on this shit. If I were in his position right now, I'd be doing everything I can to get right with God. That's what I would be doing. And I'd start by taking accountability for all the shit that I've been pulling for the last 2 years. I'd start with taking accountability for that. And then I'd start fucking doing the right thing. I'd be like, you know what? I was wrong. And looking at a different perspective of the evidence and trying to see it through the juror's eyes, you know, I mean, what's so wrong about that? Because this guy consciously knows that Karen Reed is innocent. That's the problem here. This guy consciously knows that Karen Reed was innocent, and he wants he wants to be credited, and he wants to be known as the mouthpiece, and he's trying to take advantage. The timing of this isn't coincidental either, people. The timing of this live stream that he's doing right here, Krusty Panties is going down. Krusty Panties is the head honcho. Krusty Panties is the head of the snake of all the trolls and the shitty people out there. And he's actually trying to campaign for that slot. He's trying to campaign for that slot because Krusty Panties is fucked. Bettero's letter drops yesterday, and Krusty Panties gets bombarded with memes and shit and posts. He's tagged in post after post. And then this dude does a live stream, an impromptu live stream. That's not coincidental. This is a guy thinking that he's going to slide into Krusty Panties' spot as far as popularity goes. He's trying to pick up where she fell short. And I get Cherry's whole point here. I get Cherry's whole point. I mean, I get it. The guy has cancer. He's clearly sick. But how far does my empathy have to go? Is my question. Do I feel sorry for the guy because he's got cancer and because he's going through chemo? Absolutely. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But how far does that empathy have to go if he is sitting here and he's spending his energy that he could be spending on healing and doing better and getting right with God, and he's spending his energy trying to, he's spending his energy kicking on that while he's dying, metaphorically speaking, on this Karen Reed is guilty hill. You know what I'm saying? Why should I feel sorry for this guy if he's not doing anything to help himself? Why should I feel sorry about this guy if he's still spewing out rhetoric that is harmful? Karen Reed, she's innocent. She walked. That's it. Karen Reed was innocent and she proved it. Not only did Hank Brennan fail to prove her guilt, she proved her innocence. This is what he's failing to acknowledge. She absolutely proved her innocence. It's not questionable. The ARCA guys proved it. Hell, Hank Brennan proved it. Hank Brennan proved it by the way that he prosecuted this case. And so you got this guy who's just trying to fucking gasp for air on the hill of Karen Reed is guilty. That's not somebody who is indicative with somebody who is really, really appreciating his life right now, which is what I would be doing. I would like to think that that is what I would be doing if I was fighting cancer. I would be just fucking reveling in my blessings and doing everything I can to put out as much good in the world as I possibly can. The problem is this guy has convinced himself that he is putting out good in the world. That's the problem. This guy has convinced himself. This guy's Turtle Boy derangement syndrome has clouded his sense of reality. He's allowed his Turtle Boy derangement syndrome to influence his thoughts and his decision making.
To keep repeating myself, and I don't want to, which I will be doing some of that tonight, and I don't want to find myself in a position of having to watch Turtle Boy shows or Glare shows or Melanie Little shows just to get something to talk about. I don't want to do that. You see, with the Brian Colbert case, I only did 2 videos on it because then they arrested Brian Colbert. I've always been more interested. The only thing that I like about true crime is I like the puzzle of solving an unsolved case. And once it's solved, I lose interest in it. And I think a lot of people in the public are like that.
See, that is the problem. That's the problem with true crime, is that kind of shit. Let the cops do their fucking jobs. And then in the rare instance where the cops are showing that they had no interest in doing their jobs, then you do what you can. But that's not for you to solve. These crimes are not for you to solve. You're not an investigator. of any kind. You're not an investigative journalist, and you're damn sure not a fucking investigative law enforcement agent. So who the fuck do you think you are? It's not your place to solve these things. That's the biggest problem with the true crime community, is everybody thinks they're a fucking detective. Like, you remember Bill Cannon? Remember Bill Cannon? He had Twattendoffer on his channel, and he just took every word she said as fucking gospel. And then people in his chat were letting him have it. And then he was just like, oh, I worked 22 years in the New York Police Department. And you guys can go back to work at the Piggly Wiggly or whatever your job is. Like, he was a shitbag about it. But the thing is generally I agree with him. Generally, I absolutely agree with him. When it comes to this case and who he was talking to and why he was saying the things that he was saying, I don't agree with. As a matter of fact, I took it a little personally. As a matter of fact, the way that I chose to retaliate was to do an entire fucking parody live stream making fun of the guy. But generally speaking, I agree with him. People sit here and they act like they're fucking trained investigators, and they're not. And this is especially irritating to me and infuriating to me in missing persons cases, specifically missing kids cases. This is what sets me off. This is why I won't even fuck with missing kids cases no more. Because there's too many assholes like this out there who think it's their place to fucking start throwing accusations at people without any evidence. Kevin from NorCal, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
So that's what we're going to do. Now, tonight's job is naively, perhaps, or certainly it's lottery ticket long shot. I'm addressing, if any of the jurors dare to watch this, and I'm addressing you politely, respectfully, even thankfully, that what you sacrificed to do your job. All right, please. I can't turn this phone off, so if anybody's watching, please stop. Let's try to stop with the messages on. If you want to reach me, message me after.
He's so manipulative, and he's not even good at being manipulative. You know what I mean? That's what's really annoying about Plevin, is like he's so fucking manipulative, but he's not good at it at all.
The show, or email me. I will check emails. So if people give me clips, I will go and send that periodically. I don't know. I love that the volume on this new phone is so loud, but it's hard to do live shows. All right. So I'm addressing you, the jurors, if you turn this on here, respectfully. It's just not going to stop.
Somebody's trolling him right now. Like,
I'm sorry, guys. I tried to fix things by getting a new phone, and I can't seem to escape problems.
There are.
I'm sorry, guys. I tried to fix things by getting a new phone, and I can't seem to escape problems. So if you're texting me,
dude, so like, that's the thing, man. That wouldn't be happening if you weren't up there fucking spouting fucking lies. I don't have these problems. I don't have these problems. I got the same fucking phone number. I don't have these problems, dude. Nobody's fucking trolling me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting here fucking going, oh gosh, this darn phone. I thought that getting a 45th phone number throughout this whole ordeal would probably help my situation here, but I guess not. Dude, like, if you weren't sitting up there spouting bullshit, nobody would be fucking texting you bullshit.
To me, and you're watching live, please hold off on the text until after the show if you could. I still love you. Just hold off. It is an interruption. All right, so I want to address the jurors. I'm addressing you jurors out there, whether you're going to watch this live now or you're going to pick this up.
Turn your phone down, bro.
You can watch it live later. I want to have a...
And like, that's what's funny, is it's not even anybody like he has his phone on because he's just like one of those people that like he needs to hear his phone ring because it's a miracle that anybody is even thinking about him and gives a fuck about him. It's a miracle. So he's like, oh, so he keeps his phone on because he doesn't want to miss a thing. Thank you, Ms. Holmes. Appreciate it. But like, if it's so annoying, just turn the fucking ringer off. Silence it, dude. The fuck.
Civilized conversation with you. And I'm always open to have that conversation with you privately, on the phone, during emails, whatever. But I'm going to have it now with you as though you're here. Now, you got it wrong, but it's understandable why. You had a very difficult job to do. This was a difficult case. So first of all, let's start with recognizing the fact there are no witnesses, there's no video.
So here he is talking to the jurors, right? He's addressing the members of the jury who would be listening to him. And based on his numbers, no, nobody fucking listened to that. This is the most that anybody's heard him saying this right now. So he's sitting here and he's like telling the jury, you got it wrong. And I understand you have a very difficult job to do and blah, blah, blah. No, bro. Like, they got it right. They got it right. That you're going to tell a lawyer who's been very public and says everything. And then they're like, I don't know. She suspiciously sounds a lot like Free Karen Reed. It's because the Free Karen Reed people understand basic things in regards to the law. That's it. That's why. No, this is not somebody who is sitting there and hanging on every word Turtle Boy says or Mike Crawford says or anybody says or I say. This is not somebody who's doing that. This is somebody who looked at the evidence, who's trained to look at evidence, and looked at the evidence and saw that there was an overwhelming lack thereof, and then noticed that there was evidence indicating that she was actually innocent. And so they voted not guilty. That's what they did. That's what you do. You also have a juror who didn't even take the foreman, who didn't even take any notes, still presented, still behaved in a role of leadership, displayed signs of a leader, and knew everything about the case, understood everything.
Something that takes place at night, and you're just looking at the evidence. And John's injuries are kind of weird for getting hit by a vehicle because he's only clipped, and he only has minor injuries to his arm, mostly. And those injuries weren't explained very well in either trial. And the fatal wound was the head wound that was caused.
Dude, this is the guy that made the fucking video of John O'Keefe with his head down, picking up a glass and then getting hit by the SUV. Dude, stop it. This guy's like, oh, well, they failed to explain the injuries on his arm. Well, that's because you can't explain the injuries on his arm unless you're explaining how a dog could have made those injuries on his arm. That's it. Kevin from NorCal, thank you again, buddy. I've never not wanted my name to be Kevin until now. Well, that's okay because his name's not Kevin, it's Plevin. So you're good, buddy. You're good. His name's Plevin.
By hitting the frozen ground. Now, I could see if that might not be convincing beyond a reasonable doubt to you. I get that. The other problem is that you had, what, 7 weeks to absorb this information. That's a lot of information to absorb in 7 weeks. A lot. And because this became a high-profile case, you got a lot of strange witnesses, both experts and otherwise. That
see, right now, Plevin knows that the only way to save his channel is to get to be someone who's considered significant in any way, shape, or form, is to get one of the jurors on his channel. They're never going to do that. Paul is never going to do that. She might. Paula might. Because Paula, she doesn't back down from the trolls on X. But Paula might do it. I mean, yeah, a court TV expert.
and we'll go over them. They come out of the woodwork because in a big case, it draws through people that everybody wants to play their big part in the case. They want their 15 minutes of fame. It's a nature of the beast. I found this was a big problem when I was studying the Lizzie Borden case. All kinds of false
Homie, you're fucking projecting.
confessors come forward or witnesses that say things that could not have been true. And so police have the difficult job of having to sort this out. And then you as jurors have a difficult time, have the process of sorting some of it out too. So it's very, very difficult. This was a hard case.
No, it wasn't.
And if you told the truth to the judge that you hadn't been studying this case over the
That's what's really, really funny about that is that's one of the biggest misstatements ever. This was not a hard case. It's a very simple case. Very simple case. Seeing as it is the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed, it's a very simple case. She didn't do it. Very simple. No proof that she did. And just tons of exculpatory evidence. Tons of it. Meaning tons of it. Significantly more exculpatory evidence than evidence that would say that she's guilty. How do I know that? Because there was literally zero evidence to say that she was guilty. Zero. Anything that was considered evidence, chain of custody probably fucked it up.
over the last 2 years. That means you had 7 weeks to absorb all the information that both sides presented to you. That's hard. Now, I'm going to focus some of that information here for you. I'm not going to bring up displays to show it, but it'll jive with what you heard at the trial. And there are other ways to go back and look this up. For people that have been watching my channel a long time, they'll have heard a lot of this before, so they'll have to bear with us. But the first and most simple thing on this case that shows that you got it wrong was the time, and I have to be careful how I say this now because the jury there has been a verdict now, so I'm going to always be careful how I say it.
I love that.
So let's address the timeline.
I love how he even has the fucking the inclination to be careful about how he says things when all he does is lie and talk out of his ass. It's brilliant. I love it.
For planting the taillight piece that the state police found at 5:45 p.m. That's the CERT team. So Trooper Lieutenant O'Hara, who was the head of the 7-man CERT team, testified that they found that piece 3 feet down in the snow at ground level. All right. So if that taillight piece was planted, somebody had to get it down to ground level. All right. So let's look at the timeline. Now, the first thing we can look, so this case really becomes an either or. So you have Karen's taillight was reassembled and it matches perfectly to the taillight, to the piece that was reassembled matches perfectly from what's missing from her car.
Yeah, because the guy who fucking because the fucking person who fucking collected the pieces of taillight fucking broke the taillight, you dumb shit.
That's the piece. So either she did it, or the taillight was, that piece was planted. Those pieces were planted. There's no middle ground. It's not like somebody else was driving up the street and struck John O'Keefe. So either
no, because she wasn't hit by a car, stupid. Yeah, don't piss Cherry off in the chat, y'all. I don't recommend that. Oh, I know, right? See, this is the thing, is Plevin, all of everything that he's saying right now means dick. Fuck all. Because Karen Reed has been acquitted. Period. That's it. That's done. It's over. Now, it's time to get justice for John. It's time to get Turtle Boy freed. That's it. That's all I give a fuck about right now. Sandra Birchmore's getting justice. There was a standout today, I think, for Sandra Birchmore. All right. Phone lines are open if anybody wants to call in. Listen, Turtle. Listen, Turtle.
Call from
some guy with cancer.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
I'm the darkest super chatter in history.
Oh, some guy with cancer.
Yeah,
What's
I was
up?
actually calling to I was calling to tell you that I'm driving home, and so I thought I would turn on your stream, and I immediately hear you listening to Plevin, and so I'm debating just swerving off into the lake and being done with this world.
Some guy with cancer. Don't do that, buddy. I believe in you. You're gonna beat this thing. Okay, stick with us.
But it's not about the cancer. Like that's actually going well. It's about
It's good to hear.
faith in humanity being in the negative. Listening to this guy, like I didn't. I mean, it's like having a negative IQ. I didn't think it was possible, but he pulls that off too. Like,
Jesus, man. So, yeah, man. Like, so basically, what you're saying here is that you're beating your cancer, and even in this in lieu of this amazing triumphant victory that you're on the verge, on the cusp of, Jess Plevin's voice makes you want to end it all and just give up the fight.
yes, basically. I mean, if I had access to a nuke, I might set one off just on the way out, just for the,
You're gonna take all of us with you. What kind of shit is that, bro? I got shit I want to
didn't say
do.
I would take you.
I mean,
I didn't say I'd take you. I just said I would set one off and just, figure like after this, like people have got to realize something's really wrong. We got to fix this.
okay, but a nuke's not gonna do it, bro. I mean, it would, but you're gonna take a lot of people with you, bro. Don't do that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, like, we're keeping too many stupid people alive right now. Western civilizations are not subject to natural selection, because if we were, Levin would have never made it out of about the 6th grade. He would have, stapled his balls to something and bled to death. But we keep too many dumb people alive with warning labels.
Yeah.
I mean, like at first I thought, okay, like when I first heard him, I thought, okay, this guy's wrong, but at least he's like trying to approach it. But the more he talks, I've come to the fear that no, he really is this stupid.
Yeah.
I thought it was an act. Like if it was an act, I'd be like, that's a hell of an act.
Yeah, he's really dumb.
But,
like he's really dumb because like
Yeah.
he's really like he's right now he's just gasping for air trying to like keep his channel alive. But there's nothing for him anymore. Like all of the trolls have kind of disbanded for the most part. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember when he was talking about John's cell phone. landing under him. And he's like, if you're holding something and you're hit, the object you're holding will have the same momentum as you. And it's like, no, dumbass. Like, your body doesn't even have the same momentum uniformly. Like, this part that got hit is going to be moving faster than the rest of you. So, no, your phone won't have the same momentum as you. It'll have, momentum in relation to where it was when you were hit. And
Agreed.
I'm not supposed to drink, but I had that urge.
Don't do it. Hey, some guy with cancer, we're all rooting for you, buddy. Don't.
I appreciate it. I'm not actually going to swerve into the lake.
Yeah, we
I
know.
wouldn't mess up my car just for his dumb ass. But no, cancer's everything's stable. Doctors aren't sure how or why it has been for this long, but we're not gonna complain. Just gonna go with it. And I have to go back to Houston in a couple weeks and have a stent replacement, but nothing major. So
Okay. Well, we're all rooting for you, man.
So I appreciate it, and I'm driving, so I can't see any of the comments, but I'll be listening.
Right on. All right, man. You take care of yourself. Thanks for calling.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
You too. Take care, man.
Some guy with cancer, y'all. Gotta love that guy.
Call from Lori.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh gosh, my name is Lori.
Hi, Lori. What's up?
Hi. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a cold. I have a question. I don't know how big Faraday bags are for cell phones, but is it possible that Higgins went back to the department and got a Faraday bag?
What's a Faraday bag?
That blocks the cell phone signals?
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, possibly. Maybe.
The cell phone, I had a hard time making sense out of whether the basement or the garage. And I was thinking if it was put into a Faraday bag, they could have moved the phone without it showing anything.
That is a good point. That's possible. This is the first time I've ever heard that. So yeah, that's a great point.
I know you'll die on the heel of the shoe. So I've just thought about this cell phone activity.
Right. No, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Okay, well, I love your show. I appreciate everything you do.
All right. Well, thank you, Lori. Lori, right?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for calling, Lori. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
She was sweet. A Faraday bag, huh? Okay.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Not that Dina.
Not that Dina. What's up, not that Dina?
I don't know. I was like so far back that all my super chats were like hitting the wrong spots. So I thought I'd just like say hi. I didn't even know you were going to the phone lines.
I didn't
and
either.
then I just fast forward. Dude. And then I just fast forwarded and I was like, oh, he's still doing it. So I missed a bunch of your show. I got to go back and watch it.
Honestly, I thought LTL was doing a fundraiser for Aiden at 6. And so I was just trying to squeeze in like a quick live and go over that article. But then I realized my chat let me know that wasn't till Wednesday. So I decided to just stay live, and there was a good amount of people in here. So I decided to just stay on and kind of fuck around.
I can't wait till you do your marathon because you get like the best people on. It's so much fun. It's so worth donating. I mean, not that I need that to do it, but I do it like otherwise all the time, but when it's encouraging. So your marathon is going to be like chef's kiss if you actually take 3 seconds to plan it out and get all these people on.
Yeah.
Try to get Ian on. He'd do it. He loves Aiden.
Who?
Ian.
Oh,
Runkle.
I thought you said Ann. I was like, huh?
No.
Oh,
Who the fuck is Ann?
Yeah, of course I'm going to invite Runks. I'm going to invite a lot of people. So yeah,
definitely Auntie. And I know you think Howie would be the best, and he would. But Howie likes to get paid. That's why he does ching ching.
Well,
with like everything, you know.
Who's to say that he wouldn't get paid? I mean, I don't know, but I mean that would be between Aiden and Howie to work that out. You know what I mean? Like, so who knows? You know, who knows? Maybe
Howie's at the top of the chain,
and maybe he'll just do it. You know, who knows? Never know.
He might, because he really does believe in Aiden.
Right.
He really does, 100%.
And if he wants money for it, then, you know, fucking charge tickets accordingly. You know what I mean?
Seriously, yeah, charge them tickets accordingly, because he's not a light get.
Right.
He's not a light get.
Not at all. That's why. But I think I say that's in my opinion. You know, I mean, I have no say over any of this shit, but in my opinion, Howie Carr would be the best possible choice for this Wilbur Theater thing. I feel, and
I still think second would be Jimmy, for sure, because Auntie Deb, because he's funny.
Yeah,
it's got to be entertaining.
But
Sue O'Connell's not funny.
But so's Howie Carr, you know, and it doesn't mean.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying if Sue O'Connell, she's just like dry bread. I like her, but she's not entertaining.
But Aiden's funny, you know, and it doesn't have to be funny either. Like, as long as it's insightful.
I think it has to be funny.
It doesn't have to be funny. It doesn't have to.
The Wilbur Theater is not a small place.
Okay.
People aren't going there to just sit there and chew on Melba
and listen to Insight. You don't think that they would do that? Of course they would. Of course they would. Like, you've got Annie Elise, who's on a tour right now, and she's packing places. She's fucking, you know, it's not funny. I mean, I'm sure there's funny moments.
No, but she's got like,
she's a true
so
crime
much energy, and she's great personality.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, you know, it's just because it's not necessarily funny doesn't mean it's not going to be entertaining. You know, when you don't watch drama movies, you don't watch action or drama movies. You know what I mean? I
like drama with comedy. I like action with comedy. I like horror with comedy. Comedy's got to be someplace in there.
You're just trying to win an argument
to pull me in.
Like,
because
I know
win
an argument. You're sitting here telling me.
You're trying to win an argument too.
You're just sitting here telling me.
Don't pretend you're not.
You're sitting here telling me that you only watch something if there's you know, at least an element of comedy. Like, get out of my face with that. Like, that's not necessarily true. Like, you watch other YouTubers who aren't funny. You watch them because they're insightful, right? Like, you watch.
No, I watch other YouTubers that are insightful and funny, like Ian and Emily. They're both those things. They're both very strong, very smart, but they have an edge. And that's why I watch you. You got the edge, Daddy. You've got the edge.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it's not a fucking fail if they're not aiming for comedy. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be a funny situation in the first place. You know?
No, it doesn't have to be, but it can have an. Go ahead.
You know, there are those of us who are able to find the humor in it. You know, but it's not funny at all what's happening to Aiden. You know?
Oh my God! You know, I love you dearly, but for somebody who spends all of this time literally just making us chuckle, you're not making a good argument.
What do you mean? No, I'm making a perfectly fucking sound argument. I'm saying that, yes, I can find the humor in these things. That's my strong point, my strong suit. I can find the humor in these things, but make no mistake, Aiden's case is not funny. what's happening to him is not funny. So therefore, if somebody were to have an insightful conversation with Aiden explaining why it's as fucked up as it is, it doesn't have to be funny to get that message across. Is my point.
No, it doesn't have to be funny to get the message across. It does have to be funny, or at least have some version of humor spatted through. I get all my information from you. Isn't that gross? But I do. And I know I'm getting the correct information, but it's still spattered with comedy. And that's what makes it palatable.
Well, sure.
You make this horrible stuff
for you,
more palatable.
For you. Specifically for you. That's not the only reason people watch me, though. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's also because you're cute.
Oh, God. Please.
All right. Good night. Good night.
Right.
Good night. That's enough. I got to go feed my daddy. So you have a great night.
Have a good night.
You can't get mad at me when I'm nice to you. Say
Why
bye.
not that, Dina? Not that Dina, y'all.
Call from
John.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Blair. It's John from Connecticut.
John from Connecticut. What's up, homie?
You know, okay, I just watched that moron you had on there. I mean, want to put a freaking ice pick through my skull like repeatedly, but I digress on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I did talk to you about a week or so before the trial ended, and you asked me a question that stayed with me when we were talking about Brennan being a dirtbag, and it's really, really, really stuck with me. Because Karen Reed, definitely innocent, proven it beyond the shadow of a doubt. The jury says so. I think Brennan thought she was innocent too and purposely blew his case. Sounds crazy, but I think he did that.
You say what? Say that last part one more time.
I think Brennan believed that she was innocent and purposely blew his case. I think he did.
I don't know. Maybe. Possibly. It's possible. But the thing is that there's other things that make it seem like that's just not true. Like he exhausted every effort that anybody in his position could. The only reason that I might even agree with you a little bit on that is because he tried to get in front of the fact that he didn't have enough evidence to prove Karen Reed was guilty in his closing statements. Like he tried to act like getting in front of it was a good move, basically by admitting we don't know when or where the collision actually took place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sort of like you did with the evidence.
That seems almost deliberate. But with everything else, he did everything that he could in a person in his position, which was try to eliminate the defense from having a defense. He did everything he could to do that, which is just purely unethical.
I thought of it that way too myself, because I did go back after the trial and I went through a lot of stuff on his part of the trial and everything. And there was just a lot of stuff where it seemed like he was badgering his own witnesses, his own experts. He was saying things that would make his experts have no way to agree or disagree. You know, he was just constantly doing things that were, like you said, when I talked to you that one time, why is he constantly throwing hand grenades into his own defense?
The problem,
his own prosecution.
My theory for that is not that it was deliberate. It was that it was all he could do with the case that he had. He didn't have a case. So he just did everything that he could, which was like try to discredit the experts in cross-examination by being shitty to them. He thought that he had the upper hand as the prosecutor, and if he's badgering these witnesses on the stand, he's looking like the good guy to the jury because he thinks that they're automatically going to assume she's guilty and he just has to prove it. You know what I mean? But that just wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Alan Jackson, presented a much more effective opening argument. And
you ain't kidding on that one.
right. So he presents a much more effective opening argument, and so he absolutely had their attention, and having their attention caused Alan Jackson's words to resonate better with them. And he really drove home the concept of reasonable doubt and innocent until proven guilty. So he really, really drove these things home. And I think that's all that was, you know?
Yeah, which I really got, because I watched his whole interview with Turtle Boy. I watched that whole thing.
Right.
And I mean, there was things that Brendan was pulling out in the trial. I was like, why are they letting him do it? And after Alan Jackson talked on Turtle Boy, like the whole things that were cut from that interview about her drinking and all that, that was, I kind of get it now. He let him run with those because he knew afterwards she was going to have to defend herself in a wrongful death suit. And now he can use those to say, this is bullcrap.
I'm simply of the opinion that all he did was he underestimated the jury. He tried to mislead the jury, and he misread the jury, and that's all that happened. He thought that he could. He thought that he had the advantage because he was the prosecutor. He thought that he had the advantage because he was representing the Commonwealth. And this would make him trustworthy. And so therefore he thought by having this trust, it would be very easy to misdirect the jury. And he was mistaken sorely.
Yeah, he thought he was playing in Fenway Park, home field advantage, and he lost.
Right. And he thought he was, he was taking it easy, man. Like that was the whole thing, is like, he didn't start, if you notice, towards the end of the trial is when he started to really fall apart. Yeah.
Like,
he wasn't confident in the first place. Like his opening statements were weak. He didn't speak up. He really dropped the ball on those opening statements. And then Alan Jackson just picked that up and he killed it.
But see, the thing that was making me think that he might have blown his case on purpose was at the end of it all, they were supposed to come back and give her a sentence for her OUI. And he was like, no, we can do that now. And to me, that came across as, okay, for a scumbag, that's kind of a decent thing to do. Take care of it now. This is what I think she should get. It's not all that bad. It's a slap on the wrist,
dude.
Especially for a first-time offense.
If he would have pushed for the maximum for that, which he wouldn't have got, but if he would have pushed that, and if Bev would have pushed it through, they would have caused an outrage. It would have just caused a public outrage. And they knew that. So Brennan knew that the only way to save any type of face at all was to recommend the standard, which is, first offense, something like that, a year probation.
Yeah, first time offender.
Right.
Yeah, get the slap on the wrist.
Right. So he
knew.
He was attempting to save some little bit of face there. I think that's all that was. He was just like, I want this to be over. So we couldn't get the conviction for the murder or the manslaughter. So we don't care about this conviction. I just want this to be over for me. I want to go home. I want to go to Duncan. That was it. And so he, recommended just the minimum, and that's it.
Yeah, I get that, but like I said, I mean, I think he did. He tried to come across that, and that's why I felt that way. That he might have blown things, but I don't know. There's just so many things in his part of the trial that I watched over again, and I was like, well, why would you even ask this question or that question? Why are you badgering your own witness?
Yeah. I think it was simply because he was getting frustrated towards the end there, because he knew he didn't have a case and he was just desperate. But I don't think that I have to disagree with you. I don't think that he deliberately threw the case. There's too many things that makes sense that makes that not make sense.
Okay, I can get that. I can get that.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, the whole shoe incident. I died on that hill with you, man.
To me,
I died on that hill with you.
To me, it's crazy that he even showed that picture as evidence, and then like I'm still never going to get over that.
You know what's funny about that whole shoe incident? I saw that, and my son, he's 25 years old, and he's just come out of college like a little over a year ago and everything else.
Mine's 25
He went to school. Well, this is the thing. My son went to school for the HDMI sciences. So the stuff you do on the internet, radio, movies, all that stuff. You know, I saw that with the whole shoe, and I stopped the video during the court trial, and I brought him down. I had him look at it, and I was like, "What's wrong with those pictures of those shoes?" He's like, "They're two different shoes. You can see this is." Yeah, this is, you know, here it is. This shoe's got a black sole. That's not a shadow. You can tell by the snow on the bottom of the shoe.
Right.
You know, he's like, there's so different shoes. He's like, one's a boat shoe. The other one's a track shoe.
Right.
They're the same brand, but that's all that they have in common.
Stupid. And like that's what's really funny about it is the fact that they were just so brazen about having these two different shoes like that. And it's just so obvious. Like, and it doesn't even take somebody who understands the internet. Dude, I put it into Chat GPT, right? I put it in an AI, put the two pictures in the AI thing, and I said, "Are these the same shoe?" There's a picture. I typed it specifically. I was like, "Is the shoe in one picture the same as the shoe in another picture?" And then the thing put out this whole paragraph thing. Like, no, they're clearly two different shoes, explaining all of that shit. You could see from the snow, blah, 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 blah. And that was just AI. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you now also, and amongst all this, seeing how involved Karen Reed was in her own case, that woman is freaking brilliant. I was impressed with her. I was like, yeah, I was like amazed. I was like, I wasn't even sure what she did until the end of this trial, what she did for a living. I was like, yeah, she needs to leave the whole insurance field, and she needs to go into law. She really does. She seems to be excellent at it.
Yeah. I mean, I hope she doesn't even have to do that. I hope she just could do whatever the fuck she wants. I hope she makes a shit ton of money off this book. I hope she makes a shit ton of money off of the movie. I hope she makes a shit ton of money off of any fucking appearance that she makes. Yeah, I hope Karen.
So do I. After everything she's been through, she, you know, her parents gave up like so much. She gave up everything. I mean, these guys raised money for her here, there, and everything. You know, Turtle Boy, Larry, you. Everybody was out there, you know, banging the drums for her. While the trial was going on, I was on the other side of Massachusetts at the time. I really wanted to be down that way, but I just couldn't at the time.
I really wish I could have been there for that verdict, man.
Yeah, you were up there a week later after me when I was up when I was in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
You were up a week later.
Okay.
But I mean, I mean, everything she went through. She really does deserve all the goodness that's going to come out of it from a book deal, a movie, this, that, the next thing. You know, really does.
Yeah.
And I like you said, I hope she gets it, and I really hope the Alberts and all them burn in fucking hell.
They probably will.
I really burn in fucking hell. I mean, I've never met a scummier, and I haven't met any of them, but never met a scummier group of people. The scummiest person I ever met in my life was, what's his name? That mob guy in New York. I can't even think of his name. The big mob guy in New York. Gotti, John Gotti.
Gotti, yeah.
I met him on a few occasions. That was the scummiest person I ever met in my life.
Right.
But even he wasn't that bad. These people that work in those industries, we call criminals. They do have an ethic. These guys, no ethics whatsoever.
No.
None. They care about nobody but themselves.
They're not even organized. So,
No.
anyways, all right, John, thanks for calling, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right. Take it easy, man.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right, folks. That's going to be it for me. Sham, wow, thank you so much. What about the socks that are upside down? I don't know. Good question. I don't know. But yeah, I'm done. I'm wrapping this one up. But guys, thanks so much. I make sure to hit the like for me. I was expecting this to be a much shorter stream, honestly. But then I just figured, fuck it. I'm already live. There's a lot of people in here, so we'll hang out a little bit. So thanks for hanging out with me. And make sure to hit the like if you like the stream, and make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. And thank you guys for all of the support. It really does mean all the world to me. So guys, I love you very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friend.